This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 809, The Meaning of Life, Part 1 by Derek Sivers of Sivers.org. And I'm Justin Malik, your very own personal narrator. Welcome to Optimal Living Daily, OLD for short, where I narrate the best blogs I can get permission from. And before we get to the post, thank you to Talkspace for sponsoring this episode. Talkspace is an online therapy company that enables you to improve your mental health from anywhere at any time. Get matched with a licensed therapist from over 2,000 choices and message them whenever you need to. No commutes and no judgments. For a special offer just for you, visit Talkspace.com/old and use the code OLD to get $30 off your first month and show your support for this show. Talkspace is therapy for how we live today. So today's post, today's, tomorrow's, and Thursday's, since this is a three-parter, is going to be interesting. It's a transcript of Derek Sivers' very popular talk that he's given all over the world. I won't even compare to how well he performed it. It's his material after all. So on that note, I'd encourage you to also check out his videos to see him perform it himself. It's worth it. But I'll do my best with it. So with that, let's get right to part 1 and start optimizing your life. The Meaning of Life, Part 1 by Derek Sivers of Sivers.org. There's a true story about the student who showed up late to math class. He copied the problem that was already written on the board, assuming it was homework, and solved it that week. Only afterwards did he find out that the teacher put it on the board as an example of an unsolvable problem. The question, what is the meaning of life, is the classic unsolvable problem. For thousands of years, people have been trying to figure it out. It's the punchline cliche of unanswerable questions. But right now, let's be the naive ones that don't know it's considered unsolvable and just figure out the meaning of life in under 20 minutes, okay? Life is blank. What word do you think goes in that blank? Life is what? Any ideas? Let's look at some of the different options that philosophers and smarties have said. Life is time. Some say life is time. Life is all about time. The definition of life is the time between when you're born and when you die. So the literal meaning of life is time. So if life is time, the way to have a good life is to use time wisely. How can you use time wisely? 5 ways. Number 1, remember it's limited. If you find out tonight that you've only got 1 year left to live, you'll make the most of this next year. If you act like life is infinite, you won't. To achieve great things, 2 things are needed: a plan and not quite enough time. Give yourself tight deadlines. Remember, you could die at any time. Don't delay. How can you use time wisely? Number 2, be mostly future focused. Make most of your current actions serve your future self. Learn, practice, exercise, delay gratification, save and invest your money, and build towards your ideal future. People who do this are more successful and even happier. But too much future focus leads to being a successful person on your 4th marriage with no true friends. Too much future focus can take time away from important things that need you to be in the moment. How can you use time wisely? Number 3, be somewhat present focused. Sometimes pull your head out of the future and give your full attention to the present. Relationships, communication, and require this. But too much present focus is hedonism, living only for immediate gratification with as much excitement and novelty as possible. Too much present focus leads to an empty bank account and no impulse control. Too much present focus robs you of the deeper happiness of delayed gratification, achieving long-term goals, and developing valuable expertise. How can you use time wisely? Number 4, be somewhat past-focused. To remember your past is to live twice. Keep your life in the context of the past to see how far you've come. Put aside time to reinterpret your past events as a powerful reminder that you can reinterpret your present and future too. How can you use time wisely? Number 5, get in the zone. You know the feeling of flow where you're focused on work that's not too easy and not too hard, where the work itself has clear goals and is its own reward. People at the end of their life who claim to be the happiest with their life were the ones who had spent the most time in this state of flow. For a good life, pursue the work that puts you in this state and avoid the things that pull you from this state. Let's say life is time. What do you think? Pretty good argument? Let's look at another perspective. Life is choice. Some say life is choice. Life is all about choice. You make 100 little choices a day and 100 big choices in your life. These choices change your entire life. Your life is created by your choices. Therefore, life is choice. So if life is choice, the way to have a good life is to make good choices. How can you make good choices? 4 ways. Hear those in tomorrow's episode. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled The Meaning of Life by Derek Sivers of Sivers.org. And thanks again to Talkspace, the online therapy company that lets you message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. All it takes is an internet connection and a computer or their mobile app. And therapy isn't just about venting your innermost thoughts or digging into childhood memories. It's also about practical, everyday strategies for stress management and living a happier life. And having a therapist simply provides you a designated person for you to talk to who is trained to listen and help you make those positive changes. The Talkspace platform has over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges that we all face. So to match with a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/old and use the code OLD to get $30 off your first month, all while showing your support for this podcast. That's the code OLD and Talkspace.com/OLD. Thank you for being here and sticking around until the end. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow where we'll continue this performance and where your optimal life awaits.